innings to this point, facing the Blue Jays, who he does very well against here at Tropicana Field. 3 career starts against Toronto, only 1 run allowed. Garza looking for a little run support, gets the lowest run support in the American League coming into tonight, but always pitches well against the team from Canada. And here's the defense behind Matt Garza tonight in the outfield from left to right. Carl Crawford's in left. Ben Zobrist makes his 5th start in center. Gabe Kapler, the right fielder. Evan Longoria at 3rd. Jason Bartlett at short. Akinori Iwamura at 2nd. And Willie Ibar plays first base. Yonder Navarro behind the plate tonight for the Rays right-hander Matt Garza.
Well, these 2 clubs will wrap it up tomorrow afternoon. We'll be with you at 1 o'clock. David Price and Roy Halladay, the pitching matchup in the finale of the season series between these 2 clubs. And the Rays will have Monday off, and Seattle will be in for 2 days. There's Halladay. He'll take his 15-9 record to the mound, and David Price 8-7. And boy, the second half of the year, it seems that about every week or so, the Rays are making a start against Roy Halladay.
It would not be a Rays-Jays series without seeing Doc Halladay on the mound at some point.
So that'll be a great pitching matchup tomorrow. And tonight we have Matt Garza and Ricky Romero. Pretty fair pitching matchup here tonight at Tropicana Field. And here's Marco Scutaro. Scutaro has had his best year, hitting .285. He scored 100 runs for the Blue Jays this year. And he steps in as Matt Garza prepares to go to work. He has the sign from Navarro, and the first pitch of this game is a ball a little bit outside. Scutaro, a little 5-game hitting streak, 9 for 22 in that stretch. Total of 162 hits this year for Scutaro. There's the strike. 1-1. 90 degrees outside in St. Petersburg. 72 degrees here inside Tropicana Field. Ball by him, and the count goes to 1-2. The 2 guys in the lineup for the Blue Jays tonight who had some success in the past against Garza would be Aaron Hill, who's next, and then Adam Lind, who follows. It's upstairs, so that's why it's important to keep Scutaro off the bases here to start the game. Aaron Hill hitting .357 off Garza, and Lind at even .300. The rest of the lineup not as imposing against Matt. And now ball 3, the count is full.
They're a really tough 1-2-3 at the top of the lineup. If you can get through that first inning in 15 pitches or less, you've really accomplished something, especially with Scutaro, who draws a lot of pitches.
He is 3rd in the American League in walks drawn. 3-2. And he is out on strikes. So Garza gets him, went 3-2 and went away, and is out on strikes to start the game.
Scutaro trying to hold up on this pitch. It's outside, but he just goes around there. As you'll see it from the side, he does make an offer at it for the first strikeout of the night for Garza.
1 away, and here's Aaron Hill. Hill, the 4th leading home run hitter in the American League with 32. Garza starts him with a strike. At 5-3 for his career against the Blue Jays. That's with a 1.90 earned run average. He'll check this time. It's 1-1.
He threw a 2-seamer on the 1-1 pitch to Marco Scutaro and an 0-1 2-seamer to Aaron Hill, both with really good movement. He's had that pitch the last 2 starts after he felt like he didn't have it in his last home start.
Foul back, 1 and 2, and a good healthy fastball there, a 4-seamer. Well, he gets good ride on the 4-seamer. He gets great movement on almost every fastball he throws, and he can get into a stretch with that 2-seamer down. It just moves all over the place. One and 2 now. Down to third base. Longoria up with it, and the throw to first is in time. So Aaron Hill is out of there. Third to first, 2 up, 2 down. Again tonight, proud to bring you this game in stunning high definition. And here is Adam Lynn. A .299 average. Some very healthy numbers for Lynn. Strike 1. And it would seem that Lynn has really flourished under Cito Gaston for a couple of reasons. Number one, Gaston made a commitment to play him and get his bat in the lineup every day. And I really think Lynn is a guy who responds to Cito's approach to hitting. Go up there and look for your pitch. Not necessarily throwing walks, working the count. Look for your pitch. This one away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He likes an aggressive hitter up there.
It's almost a ritual the first year that Lynn was with the Toronto Blue Jays, and then last year with Cito Gaston, that he would, before he would go on deck, he would stop and talk to Cito about his approach each plate appearance.
High foul. That's going to be out of play.
A lot of times they would review the previous at bat and say, this is what that pitcher did to you last time, so here's what he's going to think about this time. And it was just a manager and a hitter, and a manager who loves to think about hitting, and this young guy took it to heart and really learned a lot.
Well, he's become the best hitter in the Toronto lineup. Two outs, bases empty. Garza now ready. And a foul out of play. Fastball up and away. We cited Garza's overall numbers against Toronto, but with the Rays, they've been quite remarkable. He is allowing them under a run for 9 innings in the earned run department. That's foul up the right side. Since coming to the Rays the last couple of years, his earned run average against Toronto is 0.92, and that covers 59 innings. The astonishing thing about that is he has 2 losses. He's 5-2 with a 0.92 earned run average against this team. And the count is full.
That's hard to do. It's hard to lose 2 games with that kind of ERA, but he's always had great success against this team, and he realizes it, and they realize it. He's been a tough customer, especially here at home against the Jays.
3-2. And a foul back again. Fastball. So this will turn out to be at least a 10-pitch at bat, with this next pitch being number 10. And ball 4. Garza thought he had the corner and was set to head to the dugout. Sam Holbrook says it's a little wide. Navarro has a little discussion going with him.
Just tailed outside a little bit, almost hit Navarro's glove, which is what was frustrating for Garza. Navi was on the corner and just tailed a little bit outside. He felt like he got squeezed a little there, but I think it was the right call.
Encarnacion. Hitting 211 with the Jays, and a base hit. He goes after the first pitch. Singles up the middle. First pitch fastball, and Encarnacion not waiting around. Stopping at second is Lynn. So after 2 outs, a walk and a base hit. And Lyle Overbay will bat. Blue Jays first baseman hitting 265. 5 of 25 against Garza. This pitch is low. Ball, no strikes. So Garza now over 20 pitches here in the first. And he's behind Overbay.
It's amazing how that one little sequence with Adam Lind, you had 2 outs, nobody on, ahead 1 and 2. If he gets a put away there, you're talking about 14, maybe 15 pitches. Now he's going to end up at least in the mid-20s, it looks like.
He walked Lind. Gave up the base hit to Encarnacion. And a ground ball back of the bag at first fair. Ibar's going to race to the bag. Beat Overbay in, and that retires the side. No runs, a hit, a walk, 2 left. Bottom of the first coming. Rays coming in to hit. On in their half of the first. Rays lineup again will have Jason Bartlett at the top, followed by Carl Crawford and Evan Longoria. And in center field, hitting cleanup for the Rays is Ben Zobrist. Pat Burrell, the DH, hitting ahead of Willie Ibar. Gabe Kapler, Deanna Navarro, and Akinori Iwamura. 7, 8, and 9 in Joe Madden's lineup.
Left-hander Ricky Romero making his 26th start of the year. The lefty, a rookie season in which he has 12 wins, tied for second amongst AL rookies, a 4.22 ERA. pitching into September for the first time in his young career as he takes on the Rays tonight.
Here's Bartlett, 5th leading hitter in the American League at .325. He takes a pitch down, 1 ball and no strikes. Ricky Romero out of California, out of East Los Angeles. 2 balls, no strikes. With the Cal State Fullerton, and the Blue Jays drafted him in the 05 draft. 2-1. Jason had a run scored in last night's game for the Rays. Ahead in the count now, 3 balls and a strike. And that is ball 4, too low.
For Romero or any other young pitcher, as we look at the defense behind Ricky Romero, John McDonald makes just his 2nd start of the season in left field. Jose Batista is the center fielder tonight. Travis Snyder in right. Edwin Encarnacion, Marco Scudero, Aaron Hill, Lyle Overbay around the infield. Raul Chavez has thrown out 37.8% of runners trying to steal, and Ricky Romero the pitcher.
Now it's Carl Crawford. The pitch is a strike. Recently, Romero's rate of bases on balls has increased. About the first half of his starts, about a dozen starts into the season, he was not allowing that many walks, but that total has gone up a bit in his last dozen starts or so. And Crawford is hit by that pitch, and you know that's interesting right there, because the Blue Jays expressed some dissatisfaction last night that Crawford stole a base in the bottom of the 8th, when at the time the Rays had a 5-run lead, and so Crawford hit by that pitch right away, and that will not go unnoticed.
There's some intent there. There's no doubt about it. There were enough comments after the game last night from the Blue Jays clubhouse that seemed to indicate that they were not pleased with Crawford stealing a bag there. 9-4 bottom of the 8th. So,
and you know, that's something that Joe Madden didn't buy, and I don't buy that. You know, the Blue Jays, when they got down by 4 runs, they didn't stop trying to score runs. They scored 2 runs in the 6th inning. You know, they were down at that point. They were down by 6, and they made it a 4-run game. So they were down by 6. They're still trying to score runs. They can come back. The history is the Rays bullpen over the last 2 or 3 weeks has been problematic. So I don't see any problem at all with a guy stealing a base there and adding a run late in the game.
That's Joe Madden's theory, too. He said, if you guys promise not to try and score in the 9th inning, then we won't try and score any extra runs. At that point, it was a 9-4 game. And you're right, the bullpen has not been in lockdown mode lately. So an extra run here and there, getting in scoring position, as it turns out, Longoria hits the home run, but I don't see a problem with that.
And there's a base hit through the left side. Bartlett's headed home. He will score, and the Rays break out in front 1-0. Crawford stops at second. The RBI for Longoria. He has 108. So Evans getting serious about trying to become the first Ray to ever lead the league in RBIs.
Romero tries to come inside with a fastball, and Evan Longoria just rips it past Encarnacion into left field. Jason Bartlett scores easily. Nice to see Evan on a little RBI roll after a bit of a struggle there at the beginning of the last road trip.
There's Ben Zobrist. Zobrist takes it down. 1 ball, no strikes. Chavez will make a trip to the mound.
I don't think that hit batter by Romero will be the last one tonight. Matt Garza has before and will continue to defend his teammates. And it wasn't by accident they got strike one, and then you saw Chavez go inside, and Romero was way off the plate for that second pitch.
You know, the Blue Jays had a little dust up with the Yankees. A couple of their guys were hit, and Carlson threw behind Posada. And the rest is history. That little nudge right there, an elbow.
That was the series right before they came here, so they've been in full pugilistic mode lately.
1-1, and you know, it's interesting about that. The Yankees had hit about 7 or 8 Blue Jays in prior series leading up to that. So there was some history there, and they had a couple more of their guys hit. 1-1 the count to Ben Zobrist. Ground ball, that's headed into left field, a base hit. Crawford's going to score. Throw is cut off, and the Rays have a 2-0 lead. Zobrist drives in the run. So the walk and the hit batter converted into runs by the Rays. Longoria stops at second on the base hit by Zobrist.
Not hit hard by Ben, but it finds the perfect spot between short and third, and Carl Crawford, with his speed, as soon as that ball goes through, he knows he's going to score that run.
It's Pat Burrell, 2 on, nobody out. He takes the pitch low, a ball and no strikes. Matt with 14 home runs. All of his home runs have come against right-handed pitching. Figure that one out. 1-1 the count.
That was a small problem last year for the Rays at times, was their ability to take advantage of left-handed starters. See what Pat's done for the Rays in 2009. One of the reasons they got him was to shore up that lineup against lefties, but he has not yet hit the long ball against the left-hander.
2 balls and a strike.
Mentioned Romero's recent control issues, and this is a guy who's got a lot of talent, but he is pitching deeper into a season for the first time in his career, being a minor leaguer before this. And there's something about going through that threshold, pitching into September and not having your season end Labor Day, that can be as much of a mental threshold as anything. And he has not fared well in his last 4 starts.
Now the 2-1. Throws a strike to Burrell. We'll square the count at 2-2. Well, when he pitched against the Rays at the start of July in Toronto, they had no runs and 4 hits off him in 8 innings. And he strikes out Pat Burrell off speed. The change had him out in front. And that's the first out.
That's an effective weapon for Romero against righties. Why he can be so effective against the righties is that good changeup. That one had good movement, laid down, kind of cut in a little bit towards Burrell, but that's a pitch that has worked very well for the young lefty against right-hand hitters.
Now here's Willie Ibar. He hits one through the hole into left. Here comes Longoria. He's going to score, and the Rays lead 3-0. So Ibar on the first pitch drives in a run. The Rays wearing out that hole between short and third. 3 RBI singles that way.
Like Ben Zobrist, this one hit a little bit harder, but not much harder. It did have some top spin that helped it scoot through the infield. The Rays just finding the right spots on the left side of the infield for the Blue Jays.
Brad Orangeburg, the pitching coach, out there.
Run support for Garza, huh?
How about that? They got runs for Shields last night, and 3 so far here in the first tonight for Matt Garza. How about that? The lowest run support in the American League, and that dubious distinction for Matt Garza at 3.65. There's Gabe Kapler. Pitch is down. In contrast to Burrell not hitting a home run against a lefty, Kapler's done just about all of his offensive damage against left-handed pitching this year. 31 overall with 6 home runs and 28 runs batted in. That's a strike, and the count is 1-1. Here's the left-right split. Kapler, all 6 of his homers against lefties, and a .281 average off southpaws. 1-1, and a fly ball short right field. That's going to fall in front of Snyder. Zobrist heads to the plate. Throw cut off. He's safe. Throw to third. Safe there. And now a throw. Well, he held the ball. Encarnacion had an idea of going to first with Hill covering, but Kapler got back, and the Rays have their 4th run as Zobrist crosses the plate.
Dave Kapler owes a lot of credit for that RBI to Ben Zobrist, who had a perfect read on this ball and took off from second base almost immediately. This is not an easy read for a guy at second. He freezes for a moment, and then he takes off, and it gives Tom Foley a chance to wave it home. There you see a quick decision's made there, and then he gives Tom Foley a chance to send him, because that's not a play that a lot of people on second base, a lot of runners on second base are going to score on that little flare.
Well, here's Deoner Navarro. And he tries to bunt that ball with Ibar trying to read it down the line from third. The bunt is foul. Strike 1.
It's a play Joe Madden loves with first and third and less than 2 outs. That little bunt push to the right-hand side. He feels like it's close to an indefensible play. With any decent speed, he should be able to score a run. But Navarro just didn't make a very good effort at that first bunt.
A 1-strike count. Pitch up a bit. 1-1. And the Rays have been known, if they don't succeed the first time on that, they'll try it again in the same at bat.
Joe's not afraid to go back-to-back pitches, or right there they took it off for one pitch, go back to it the very next time. Now that he's even in the count, you may see him give it another effort, although I don't think he liked the first bunt attempt by Nabi.
A 1-1 count. Here it is, and he bunts it, and that's a foul ball. So Navarro unsuccessful in trying to get that bunt down, just up the first base side a little bit.
It's not great technique because he doesn't get the bat out in time. You can see he's just laying it back, and then the bat's in motion as the ball's coming in. If you get that bat out in front and let the bat sit there instead of kind of push at it, you've got a better chance of just catching the ball on the bat and forcing it on the right-hand side, which is the plan on that play.
And if you do it correctly, as we have seen, you're right, it's essentially as close as you're going to get to an indefensible play. You got a little piece of it to keep it at 1-2.
The reason it is because you've got a first baseman who has to hold the runner, so he has to lay back. A pitcher, especially a lefty, who sometimes can fall off towards the third base side, and it's tough with a runner coming home for the pitcher to make that play. There's another part of it too. If the runner on first can bluff towards second, sometimes you get that second baseman having to cover, and that can open up the play for the runner to try and get an infield hit. So there's all kinds of machinations with it, but they love that little play.
A move to first. Dug out by Overbay. Kapler's at first, Ibar's at third. The Rays have 4 runs here in the first. Baseball put into play by Sam Holbrook. Chavez, the catcher, actually called time and asked to see that ball, which is surprising. The 1-2 and a swing and a foul tip strikeout. Came in with a high fastball to strike out Navarro.
Romero's 1-2 pitch is out of the zone up. Navarro leaves the strike zone there and ends up being the second strikeout victim of the inning.
There's Hockey. The 9th hitter to come to the plate here in the first. And he takes a strike. Hockey reached base 3 times last night. Had a double and a single. He also walked and scored a run. Lays off the pitch too low. And it's 1-1. Four-year-old left-hander Ricky Romero. Hockey takes it high, throw to third, and Ibar's back in. That's one thing you'll get with Chavez back there. He has a good arm, and he's not afraid to use it.
He throws behind runners all the time. First base, third base. You've got to be aware on the corners if you get a big secondary lead with him behind the plate.
This one drops in, and the count evens at 2-2. Romero starting the night at 12-8 on the year. The Rays have scored 4 off him in the first. And Aki is out on strikes. That will retire the side. Couple of off-speed pitches there to get Aki. The Rays score 4. They leave a couple and lead 4-0. A lot of pitches thrown in that first inning as the Rays lead 4-0. And here's the selection of pitches for Garza.
Four-seamer, pretty solid tonight, 95-96. That two-seamer with great movement. His changeup and curve are the ones that he uses to keep hitters off balance. These are all Matt's descriptions. His slider, hard, tight, breaking the planes of the strike zone. Although tonight his first couple of sliders have had a little loop to them.
And the first pitch to Jose Bautista is a fastball, and that's a strike call. Matt made 24 pitches in the first, and Romero made 32 in the bottom of the first. 0-2. That's a nice slider right there.
That was his best one tonight.
Bautista hitting .230 on the year. And there is strike three call. He threw him another slider. Strikeout number 2.
Garza ahead of the count. Not the best slider, but when you're ahead of the count, you can fool somebody. If that's a hitter's count, that could be trouble. A high slider that didn't have that downward motion at all, but it worked out perfectly when you're ahead of the count for a called strike.
Boy, what a difference that makes, huh? You know, if the count's 2-1 or 3-1 and you throw that ball might be gone. But ahead 0-2, the hitter's not quite as certain about what's coming. There's a strike to Travis Snyder. Fastball to start him. It's up. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's wide, says Sam Holbrook. Fastball. Two 2-1 now to Snyder. 3-1. Garza's been very good against left-handed hitters this year in terms of limiting lefties in the average department. They're only hitting 196, but when he has made mistakes against them, he's paid for it with a long ball, and that one didn't miss by much. Ball 4. So Snyder walks. Given up 23 home runs this year, and then quite a lot fewer at bats. Lefties have hit 11 home runs off them, and right-handers 12. It's this righty-lefty split.
Well, that two-seamer we talked about really dives away from the lefties.
Chavez pounds it back, a fastball. Strike 1.
You see him get a lot of swings and misses, a lot of ground balls from left-hand hitters on that pitch, but you're right, the power numbers have definitely favored left-hand hitters this year.
The liner foul up the left side. That's going to make the count 0-2. You know, Chavez has had a pretty nice year splitting time with Barajas behind the plate with the Blue Jays. His average is over 270. He, as we pointed out in the bottom of the first, he has a good arm and he is capable of shutting down a running game. He's out on strikes this time, and that slider got him. 3 strikeouts for Garza.
That's now his best slider. That was a nasty one. Good movement, downward, tight spiral. And Chavez tries to hold up, but no chance.
So 2 outs with Snyder at first, and now John McDonald, who, as we discussed last night, is such a great shortstop. He's playing left field tonight, making his second start out there. It's a foul ball the other way, out of play. Garza starts him with a fastball, strike 1.
McDonald's a guy, Dwayne, who's going to be a free agent this offseason, and his defense is spectacular. It's becoming more and more in vogue to find these guys that could play so many different positions, like a Ben Zobrist and a Sean Figgins. They're going to see if McDonald can play a little outfield here.
Pops it up right side, foul. Ibar's after it, making the catch to retire the side. A walk and a man left, bottom of the second, coming 4-0 Tampa Bay.
The season, third all-time for a single season in Rays franchise history. We asked manager Joe Madden about Longo's development from his first year to his second.
He had a great year last year, his first year. Then the league has a chance to adjust to you. Then you have to readjust back, and I think that's what's happening right now. I also believe that he's understanding his swing better. He's just understanding the major league game better, so it's not surprising.
Mark Teixeira leads the American League at 112 RBIs, so Longo now just 4 back of the AL lead, and the Yankees play late at Seattle tonight, guys.
Jason Bartlett leading off the Rays half of the second. Shorten's on the bat taking the pitch, and that takes the count to 1-1 to Bartlett, who opened the first inning for the Rays with a walk, scored the first of 4 runs in that inning. Strike on the outside edge. 1-2. Two and two now. Bartlett at 325 overall, hitting .341 against lefties. And there's a little tap halfway to the mound. Romero makes the pickup and throw, and Bartlett is out number 1 here in the Rays half of the second inning. That'll be Carl Crawford. Crawford hit by a pitch his first time, and he scored as well. Coming off a very good night last night with 4 hits. The pitch is high, a fastball, 1-0. And that's a little tap foul. 1-1. Discussed in the pregame, Carl has had a very good year against Toronto pitching this season. There's a chopper to second. Hill backs up, gloves and throws, and Crawford is the second out. Two outs. Toyota trend where Evan Longoria ranks in the American League among third basemen. He comes up a winner in all of those categories: home runs, doubles, RBIs, and slugging percentage at the top. Base is empty for Longoria this time. He fouls it. That's a strike.
We mentioned Longoria chasing an RBI title. The Rays will have an interest in a couple of areas with Mark Teixeira. Not only does he lead Evan and Jason Bay in RBIs, now Evan one ahead of Bay, but he also leads Carlos Pena in the home run race by 4. And when Pena got hurt, Teixeira hit 2 home runs that same day, and it looked like, all right, Teixeira's going to end up passing Carlos, but he hasn't hit any since. He has 35, and Carlos is done for the year with 39.
2 balls and a strike. That's the RBI chase. Longoria trying to catch Teixeira. He's ahead in the count, 3-1 right now.
And the interesting thing for the Rays fans is they get to watch Teixeira and Longoria, and I'm sure Carlos will be here that final weekend of the season.
Yep. Come right down to that. And ball 4. Longoria picks up the second walk issued by Romero. Ben Zobrist in the cleanup spot again tonight. He was the DH last night, playing center field tonight. Takes a good look at a pitch away. 1 ball, no strikes. The fastball that time moved down and away from Zobrist as he hits from the right side. Sent around the knees. 1-1.
Mentioned Ben DHing in last night's game. He said he was a little bit conflicted because he got bored, and then he was working back in the cage and trying to stay loose and stretch. And then he also remembered that the coaching staff told him just stay off your feet as much as possible.
The first and Evans back in. Well, that's a new experience for a guy who has not done it before, and we know of all of those stories of hitters who've been position players and tried to DH and just could not hit as well in the DH role. There's too much time to think about things.
You get in a routine when you're a hitter. Ben says when you're in the field, you stay warm in the field. Everything's rolling along. You get in a routine. But as a DH last night, he had to find different things to do in between ABs.
Swing and a miss. That takes care of Zobrist. He went after the high fastball and missed it. So we're at the end of 2. Rays 4, Toronto nothing. 4-0 the Rays lead. We go to the third, and if you're a fan of Pandemonium, the Rays have Pandemonium coming up Thursday, October 1st through Sunday, the 4th of October. Scratch-off cards benefiting the Rays Baseball Foundation and the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association Education Foundation. They'll be available through donation. Prizes include Rays game-worn jerseys, great discounts around town, and even a Kia Forte. Visit RaysBaseball.com to get your tickets today. Marco Scutaro sending one deep to right. Kapler on the run. Got it! Gabe Kapler, as he hit the warning track, makes a fine running catch back toward the right field corner.
Key to that play is a great jump off the bat. Kapler reads this ball well. He's in full sprint on his first couple of steps, and he was able to just get there in time. Nice read by Kapler off the bat.
So one out in the third. It's Aaron Hill. Pitch inside a bit. Hill went out third to first his first time. And that pitch down a little bit as Hill started to go, but check. 2-0. And a line base hit. Left center field. Crawford up with it. The second hit allowed by Garza. 1 on, 1 out for Adam Lind. Lind drew that walk and really extended the at-bat. The pitch a little bit outside for ball 4. A strike to start him this time.
He extended that inning by a good dozen to 15 pitches. That could be the difference between going 7 innings instead of 8 or 6 innings instead of 7 at the end of the night.
He had a 10-pitch at bat after getting down 1-2. He saw 10 pitches and walked. 1 ball, 1 strike. Garza missed with that curveball right there. It's foul out of play. 1-2. Already has more runs than he normally receives to work with. He scored 4 in the first. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They've averaged close to 5.5 against the Blue Jays in the season series. Look at that pitch just run right off the plate with that movement.
And you can set up a little bit more inside on that pitch at 2-2 and still get a swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss right there. Navarro took a little hit on that one. Lind is out on strikes, and Navi in that sitting position, and we'll get a look from the Rays training staff and Joe Madden.
Big looping curveball from Garza that ended up bouncing at the plate. It's a downward bite on this. This thing just dives down. Not sure. I mean, this ball just barely got beyond the plate, and you see Navarro right there. Not sure where that got him.
You know, he got the mitt down and just
guess on
a little I don't know if he got a little shot on the helmet. We're going to take a look at him to make sure, because he just collapsed.
Well, Adam Lind on the follow through getting knobby. Let's take a look at it. Watch the bat here. Lind on the follow through, swing and a miss, and caught him on the back somewhere.
They've got a. Not sure if it caught just part of that helmet or not, but if it did, you're grateful for it. It's Encarnacion. Pitch inside, 1-0. 4 strikeouts tonight for Garza. One and one, a fastball foul back and out of play.
You watch from our center field camera on some of these pitches, you'll see Garza and Navarro have been right there all night long. Wherever Navarro is set up, Garza has been right on target. A couple pitches that have been close have been right where Nabi is set up. That's a great sign when Matt has that kind of control.
Yeah, it's not always that easy for Garza, because as we've seen, some of his pitches they have such great movement, late movement too. I mean, sometimes you think, well, he should just start it down the middle and let it move. Because if you start it on the corner, who knows if it's going to stay there or not. More times not than yes.
That was a great example of what you just talked about. That's a play where Navarro's right on the corner there, and if he just misses a hair, the ball tails a little bit, he's going to get a ball call. Look at where Navarro's set up, and the pitch isn't that far off the glove, just a bit, and that's enough for it to be a ball.
So now it's 3-1. And that's upstairs for ball 4. And you know, that's the difference. I think catchers around long enough recognize that's the difference in knowing your pitcher. Some of those guys, it's going to be a little truer, and a guy like Garza, one of the great things about him is that he's got such movement on those pitches, but he doesn't have to be as fine because of that.
Joe Maddon's often said he would love to see Matt Garza pitch one complete game with just his fastball. 2-seamer, 4-seamer, don't worry about anything else. It's got that much movement that he thinks he can get away with it.
This is Overbay. Breaking ball drops in for a strike.
And before Scott Kazmir was traded, a couple of times we saw Deoner Navarro just bisect the plate, not even try and move to a corner. Sometimes that can be just as effective. An 0-1 count. And again, the pitch off the corner. 1-1, and Garza wants a new baseball from Sam Holbrook. Another example where Nabi shifts outside late. Navarro's pretty much right on the glove, but he's just outside the plate.
Nabi tries to bring that back a little bit, and most umpires aren't going to buy that. How about that? There's another one that just missed in this time.
This time Navarro is set up outside, and Garza misses his location, but doesn't miss the plate by much.
High. This was a fastball that time. He changed speeds before, and now he's behind Overbay, 3-1.
Big spot early here for Garza. Dangerous hitter here to hitter's count. He's got a 4-run lead to work with, but he started to lose the plate just a little bit, just missing the corners, but dangerous pitch coming up.
And that's a strike. It occurs to me that Garza trying to command his pitches is a little like trying to ride a spirited horse.
Yeah.
He's got such great stuff, and you can see it just run out of the strike zone. You don't want to break that spirit. You like that movement, but it takes a little extra vigilance to command it. He got him with a breaking ball. Struck him out swinging. 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the third, and the Rays lead 4-0. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And by Gulf Coast Honda. Visit GulfCoastHondaDealers.com to find great deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. Pat Burrell, the DH for the Rays, opens the bottom of the third. Pitch is fouled out of play. Burrell struck out his first time. Romero got him on a changeup. When the Rays saw Romero up in Toronto to open July, he got a lot of strikeouts on that changeup. Tapped foul, 0-2.
That is his big weapon against right-hand hitters, and why his splits between righties and lefties are fairly even. He uses the breaking ball more against lefties, but against righties, that changeup bites down and away, and that could be a big pitch when he's ahead of the count.
Ahead of Burrell right now, 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He has 3 strikeouts tonight. He got Burrell on the changeup, and then he got Iwamura the same way. He actually has 4 strikeouts tonight, because the other 2 came on high fastballs.
And he's got to have pretty good life on his fastball for both Zobrist and Navarro to chase really high pitches.
Yeah. It's upstairs, 2-2.
He's not a tall guy, and he comes kind of that 3/4 slot. Sometimes that ball out of his hand looks like it's going to be hittable, and by the time the hitter commits, it's way upstairs.
Burrell back to 2-2 in the count. It bounces it deep third. Encarnacion with the throw, and he makes the play in time to get Pat for the first out.
Blue Jays are probably thinking they need to put a position player over there between third and short. Ray's just living in that area.
3 of the 4 run-scoring singles were through the hole between short and third in the first inning. Willie Ibar, who singled that way in the first. Fouls this one back. That's a strike. It's in there. 0-2. Is down. Romero, the lefty, He does everything else right-handed except throw a baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Occasionally run across a pitcher like that. I think Joe Sambito, who was the closer for Houston and also spent a brief time, I think, with the Cubs, he was the same way. It's foul ball. Tom Foley on the Rays coaching staff essentially was left-handed, but started throwing right-handed, and now he can throw right-handed or left-handed.
Was he a lefty quarterback in high school and a righty baseball player?
Yep.
Talent pole.
He can wave runs home from third base with either arm. Two balls, 2 strikes, the count. Full count.
But with the Ramiro situation, it wasn't that back to his father, Ricardo Sr., who said, my son's got to be left-handed. As a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, he wanted to throw righty. His dad taught him to throw with the left hand.
Ibar draws the walk. Well, if you're thinking pitching, that's not a bad idea. Those guys tend to stick around a long time.
There are a lot of reminders along his career where Ricardo Sr. told Ricky's mom, see, I told you. Lefties definitely have an advantage when it comes to being on the mound.
Now Gabe Kapler. 1 on, 1 out. Pitch is low. Kapler drove in a run with a base hit into right his first time. He's trying to push Romero's pitch count some more. For the first, and Ibar is back in. He made 32 pitches in the first inning when the Rays sent 9 men to the plate. Into center. Ibar will stop at second. Kapler is 2 for 2.
Good piece of hitting by Gabe Kapler. Pitch on the outside part of the plate. Breaking ball. Doesn't try and pull it. Serves it right back through the middle. Never easy for an outfielder who doesn't get a whole lot of starts like Kapler, especially now with Iwamura back and Zober's playing more in the outfield, but he's always ready.
Deoner Navarro struck out his first time, chasing the high fastball after getting behind 1 and 2. Pitch away. 1 ball, no strikes. Fastball to hit. Liked it, but fouled it back, and the count is 1 and 1.
Navarro's average on the year much better as a right-hand hitter, close to 300 righty. He just says he doesn't feel like he ever has to work too much on his right-handed swing. It's a left-handed swing that he's always tinkering with, trying to improve.
Ground ball, third base. Encarnacion down to Hill, and Hill's throw to Overbay. 5-4-3 on the double play, and we're through 3. Rays lead 4-0. 4-0 Rays lead. The game moves into the fourth inning, which means it's time for our Aflac trivia question. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Which Rays player holds the franchise record for most RBIs in a single season? Evan Longoria trying to become the first Ray to lead the league in RBIs, and he has another one tonight, 108 for the year. He's running second to Mark Teixeira. Jose Bautista in the batter's box. He goes after the first pitch fastball, and it's a high popper. Foul ball back at third, and Evan Longoria makes the catch on this one. One pitch, one out in the fourth inning. You know, if you look at Garza, he's 7-10 this year. And as we mentioned in our opening comments, his last win was on the 24th of July against the Blue Jays in Toronto. And if you just start from that point forward and figure how many wins he could have had with some run support, you could add 6 wins right there if the Rays had scored him some runs. So, and in that stretch, he had a couple of losses that, with some run support, could have been turned into wins. He's 0-3 in that stretch overall, and he could have avoided a couple of losses if they'd scored him 4 or 5 runs. 2-1 to count now to Snyder. So just from that point forward, he would have 13 wins. And if you back it up earlier in the year when he didn't get any run support, you can make a solid case for him having as many as 18 wins. I really think he could be 18-8 at this point if he had gotten average run support.
He has been the tough luck guy, especially in the second half, taking over for Shields in that department.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out Snyder. He gets him on a fastball there. 2 gone. Take a look at these no decisions and how well he pitched in those games. I mean, 3 of them are against the Yankees. You face that offense. I mean, you're doing something there. Boston, the same thing. The Blue Jays. I mean, those are games that you got to win.
And you mix in his last start where he took the loss, only gave up 3 to the Sox in 7 1/3 innings.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a strike to Chavez. Strike 1. I think he, you know, that April the 14th game, he had a no decision against the Yankees. There's a potential win. In May, I think there were 3 games, one against Boston and one against Oakland, and a loss to Minnesota with decent run production. He gets wins out of those. Kapler takes care of this fly ball. So we go to the bottom of the fourth now. It's 4-0 Tampa Bay. Coming in to hit in the bottom of the fourth. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Which Rays player holds a franchise record for most runs batted in a single season? Well, the answer to that is Carlos Pena. He had 121 in 07. Jorge Cantu, remember, in 05 drove in 117. And now Evan with 108 is third on that list. But neither Carlos nor Cantu led the league in runs batted in, and Longoria has a shot at doing that. Here's Hakanori Iwamura leading off the bottom of the fourth inning. Up the left side foul, slicing into the stands. Look at the Rays franchise. Pena, Cantu, then Evan, followed by Huff and Fred McGriff, who, by the way, has Hall of Fame numbers.
Pretty good list there, 100 RBI guys. Longo's still got a shot. He's got to go on a tear here the last 2 weeks plus a day, but he's still got a shot at the team record and the league lead.
Hey, if he finishes the season the way he started it, he might be a cinch to do both.
Yeah, he couldn't have been any hotter for the first 5 weeks of the season. He was just locked in from the opening day all the way through the middle of May.
Fastball past Iwamura, and the count is 2-2.
A lot of fun to watch him in his sophomore year. Keep improving in a lot of different areas. I think, who knows what his ceiling is, but it's just going to be a pleasure to watch him in a Rays uniform for a lot of years.
Yeah, you're right about that. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And a pop to the left side. Encarnacion and foul ground takes care of the pop up. 1 away. We'll swing back around to the top of the batting order. That being Jason Bartlett. Jason got the first inning started by drawing a walk. One too low. 1-0. David Price pitches tomorrow against Roy Halladay. That's a 138 first pitch. Two balls, no strikes. And tomorrow that rattle drum will be given away to the first 10,000 kids 14 and under.
Cowbells and rattle drums.
Yeah.
It is going to be festive tomorrow.
That will be fun.
We're going to have a lot of noise in the house tomorrow. The Akinori Iwamura rattle drum given out to kids tomorrow.
Three and one. So round up the youngsters and come on out. That'll be a great day. And it'll make the car ride home much more enjoyable as well. 3-1. Skied to the left side. Down the line into foul territory. And this is Scutero, the shortstop, in the bullpen, tracking this one down. And to keep track of that one, looking up into the roof. Speaking of that, how about the Twins? They're now closing in on the Tigers in the Central. They're only 2 back. They took advantage of a fly ball to left that the Tigers lost in the roof.
Who needs target field?
That's right. And they win their game, and now they're only 2 behind Detroit. Here's Crawford bouncing one to second. Hill makes the toss to first, and the Rays are up and down 1-2-3. We go to the 5th through 4, 4-0 Rays.
Back at Tropicana Field, where the Rays lead the Blue Jays 4-0. Whit Watson back with you on Fox Sports Florida. And coming up later this week, a brand new episode of Inside the Rays. We focus on 3 players who elevated their game this year for Tampa Bay. The poise and the moxie of J.P. Howell out of the bullpen, the California kid. Jason Bartlett adding power, one of the best hitting shortstops in the major leagues this season. And Jeff Neiman may be in the conversation for American League Rookie of the Year. Inside the Rays, a breakout season, highlighting those 3 players. Friday at 7:30 is the debut episode on Fox Sports Florida. You can preview it right now online at fsfloridatv.com. Back upstairs.
All right, you don't want to miss that. There's a lot of great information in that. We go to the 5th, and there's a lot of great information coming from Todd Counts.
Dwayne, thanks a lot. John McDonald leads things off. He's the number 9 hitter in the Blue Jays lineup against Matt Garza here in the 5th. Fakes, tried to take a bunt and actually fouls one back. It's quickly 0-2. So Matt Garza and the Rays lead this game 4-0. Garza to this point has allowed a couple of hits. He has walked more than he would like. He has walked 3, but he's also struck out 6. McDonald, and then the top of the order, Marco Scutaro, Aaron Hill. Matt Garza had 4 first-inning runs to work with. There's been no scoring since.
And McDonald making that start in left field for the 2nd time in his career. A couple of weeks ago against the Yankees, he got a start in left for the first time. I guess you figure as well as he can play shortstop, he's probably capable of playing anywhere.
Well, it's interesting because he is such a great defensive infielder, and I think Cito just wants him to have a chance to play a little bit here down the stretch, knowing his situation where he's going to be a free agent. Taps one towards the middle. Akinori Uemura makes the play, and he's retired for the first out is John McDonald. You got to respect that. Cito knows his situation and wants to at least get him some playing time because it's been tough to find him a spot with Scutaro and Hill doing what they're doing.
Yeah, with the emergence of Scutaro, who's done a nice job at shortstop and really has elevated his offensive game this year, getting a chance to lead off. And I mean, he's certainly returned the confidence they've shown in him. He scored 100 runs this year, Scutaro. Consistently has great at bats.
Yeah, he's not worn down at all. He's been a grinder throughout the season. Great at bats, deep pitch counts a lot. See, tonight he has struck out and flied out, one of the 6 strikeouts for Garza. Matt has had that good curveball working, but he misses that time for ball 1.
Yeah, the ironic thing about Garza is he has such movement on that fastball that curveball is. It sometimes seems like it's more of a for sure strike pitch than that fastball.
There is that fastball you're talking about. Good downward movement.
Not that you would want to trade that movement off the fastball because that's something special.
There are a lot of pitchers out there that wish they had half of the movement in their 2-seam fastball or their pitches in general as Matt Garza. He's got filthy stuff when he's locked in. He's as good as it gets. 1-1 the count to Scutaro. 1 out, nobody on here in the 5th. Last half inning, you're talking about the Twins a little bit. It's nice to have a little bit of a race. We haven't seen many races down the stretch here in the American League.
Yeah, I tell you, Cabrera hit a fly ball to left in the 8th inning of that game, and it was lost in the roof, and they come back. Joe Mauer hit another home run in that game, and so now they're only 2 back.
High pop fly, shallow right field. Easy play for Gabe Kapler, and 2 quick outs here for Matt Garza. At 2 games back, and when the Tigers were here not too long ago against the Rays, they led by a half dozen, 7 games. They looked like they were in cruise control, but Minnesota's been playing great lately.
Yeah, the Twins have won 6 in a row now. There's the breakout. The Tigers have lost 3 in a row, and all of a sudden, that AL Central has tightened up.
In the Metrodome, they keep counting down the days left in that stadium. They may have a little extra work to do in October if they keep rolling along like this. It's nice to see a race, though, because really in the East and in the wild card picture, it's starting to separate itself a little bit. And same with the West with the Angels. Boston has really picked up its lead on Texas as of late. 1-0 pitch in the 3rd to 2-0. They're up to a 7-game lead, Dwayne. That was just 2 for a while.
The Rangers coming into play tonight, riding a 5-game losing streak. Well, I guess they have, going into today, I think 5 games left in the Metrodome. So the Metrodome returned the favor of all that great baseball the Twins have consistently played up there and helped them out.
Central's definitely a division without a whole lot of teams making a bid for 90 wins this year. Here's the wild card chase we were talking about. Rays right there, along with Minnesota and Seattle, well back. Texas 7 behind Boston. Rays mathematically can get up to 89 wins, which means their elimination number is down to 3. Boston wins or Rays losses. There's a pitch away. 3-1 on Aaron Hill. The Rays can get to 89 wins, so the mathematical number is still to get to 90 for Boston, so it is 3. 3-1 on Hill. The Blue Jays are a team. They started out so strong, but part of that reason was they were playing the Central. They ended up doing well against those AL Central teams, 23-15. But Dwayne, when you look at their overall record, it's the East that did them in. Inside the division, they have not fared well at all.
No, the Rays have been very successful against them. And in fact, they are 20-41 against the East. And I think even when they got off to that great start, that's what everyone continued to look for, to see how they would respond when they got inside the East. And it shows you how tough it can be.
3-2 pitch to Hill, swinging and a miss, strikeout number 7 for Matt Garza. A 1-2-3-5. He is now retired. The last 7 Toronto Blue Jays. We end at the bottom of inning 5 with the Rays leading 4-0. As he continues to work well against Toronto, 5 innings of shutout baseball so far tonight. The Rays connected with 4 runs in the first inning, 4 RBI singles, including 1 from Evan Longoria and 1 from Gabe Kapler into right field. As the Rays strung together 4 base hits, a walk, and a hit batter in that first inning. This was a contested race. These guys were going all out, Aquafina and Pepsi, with the photo finish. I believe Aquafina was given the victory in a controversial decision.
A little bumping going on there, though. I'm not sure who started that.
Yeah, well, there's a long feud between those two. Evan Longoria leads off. Just saw him with that RBI hit his first time up. He has also walked and on base a couple of times. Always fun at the ballpark tonight. Festival Latino. Post-game concert from Tito Nieves. Got a little scouting report on that earlier from one Bobby Ramos, who is a big fan. Base hit, right center field. Evan Longoria wears number 3, and he's been on base all 3 times tonight.
Nice job, just Serving this one into right center field. The pitch a little bit away and up. Fastball, and he goes with it.
The Rays have their first leadoff hitter since the first. Ricky Romero's done a little better job of settling in after that 4-run first inning. Here's Ben Zobrist. And singled his first time up, and he swings the first pitch and skies it in the air. John McDonald originally broke back, but the rarely used left fielder comes in after a moment, makes the catch for the first out.
Now McDonald's first instinct was to go back, reacting to the swing of the hitter, Ben Zobrist.
That's got to be so unusual for him.
Yep.
The depth perception, just never playing out there before in his career, getting a chance to play a little left field tonight.
Only the second time in his career tonight is he out there.
He's done a decent job, but he is playing as deep as you can play out there. There's not going to be many balls that go over his head. See the warning track. A lot of room between McDonald and his normal position of shortstop. 0-1 the count to Pat Burrell. Pat's looking for his first hit. He is struck out and grounded out. Evan Longoria on the move. The throw not in time. Pretty good throw by Chavez, but Longoria is safe with stolen base number 8 on the year, and he has not been caught.
Check the quick release from Chavez. And Longoria just got in there ahead of the tag.
Eight for 8 on the year for Longoria on the bases. Good jump that time, allowed him to get in just in front of the strong throw by Chavez. That foul ball clears the Blue Jays bullpen. And Toronto Blue Jays bullpen for the second night in a row without a left-hander down there. I mentioned the fight earlier and the subsequent suspension for one Jesse Carlson, and also Scott Downs has a little bit of a hamstring issue. Not sure if he's going to be available this weekend. Swinging and miss. The ball is missed by Chavez, and he still is able to throw out Burrell at first. Evan Longoria will move to third on the play. That was just a swing and a miss that Chavez probably was crossed up on.
And to watch Chavez, I think for a moment he thought he had it, and then he took a little beat before he started to retrieve it. Of course, Pat Burrell does not run all that well, and so Chavez had a little extra time to complete the strikeout, but Longoria does move to third.
So Burrell retire. That's now for Ricky Romero, his first strikeout since the second inning and his 5th strikeout in the game. 2 outs, a runner on third base. Willie Ibar, the batter, he has singled and walked. He's been on base a couple of times. Also has an RBI. They are going to give Raul Chavez a pass ball for missing that pitch from Romero to allow Longoria to go to third. Ground ball foul. 1-1 the count. Rays and the Jays for the final 2 times on the season, tonight and tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow will be Roy Halladay taking on David Price. And the Rays are ready with more wins in one single season against Toronto than they've ever amassed in 1 year. 12-4 thus far against the Jays. Inside, it is 2-1. 12-4 is impressive against anybody, but especially when you consider they face Roy Halladay every series.
Yep.
He's usually starting off the series. This time he's wrapping it up. There's Doc Halladay. 3-1 to Ibar. So Halladay will make yet another start against the Rays. David Price, the young lefty who's really started to find his rhythm and mechanics the last few starts. We'll go for Tampa Bay. 1 o'clock pregame show on Fox Sports Florida. Willie Ibar draws a walk. So he's been on base 3 times, just like Evan Longoria. The corner infielders for the Rays have been on base all 6 plate appearances.
Well, his walk total is up to 4 now in under 5 innings. That has been a recurring theme in his recent starts, as we discussed at the outset. Cito Gaston seeing more of the same here tonight.
If you go to his last 4 starts for Romero, as he deals with first and third and 2 outs to Kapler, he's now walked 16 in his last 4 starts. Broken bat, the bat shattered, and a jump throw by Scutaro retires Ibar at second. Nice play by the Jays shortstop to retire the Rays here in the 5th. We head to inning number 6, Tampa Bay 4, Toronto nothing. On Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Amscott. Amscott, you're okay with us. And by Autoway Toyota. If you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? Call Autoway Toyota at 1-800-NEW-TOYOTA. Rays and the Jays on a Saturday night, not far from downtown St. Petersburg. Inside Tropicana Field, Matt Garza so far has allowed 2 hits and 3 walks to the Blue Jays. He's also retired 7 straight as we begin the 6th inning. Adam Lind, Edwin Encarnacion, and Lyle Overbay, 3-4-5 in the Toronto lineup. First pitch of the inning is a little bit outside for a ball, 1-0. Lind has walked and he is struck out. High fly ball, center field. Ben Zobrist drifts to his left and puts it away. 1 out here in the 6th as Garza continues to roll along. Garza here against Toronto, getting Marco Scutaro, one of his 7 strikeout victims. Jose Bautista looking. Adam Lind chasing that good curveball. Something about Garza and the Blue Jays seems to bode well for him. Aaron Hill goes down on strikes. That was the 7th strikeout, and now here's Edwin Encarnacion.
The line on Garza. A couple of hits, no runs, 3 walks, and the 7 strikeouts. All in 5 1/3.
And low 80s, Dwayne, in the pitch count. And Joe Madden has shown a propensity to allow Matt to go as deep as anybody on the staff. He's not afraid to let him go 150, 115 up to 120.
He's gone 120 in 2 of his last 3 starts, in fact. It's been his high pitch count total. He's done it 3 times this year.
Garza behind to Encarnacion, 3-1. Encarnacion, the only guy that Matt's really having trouble with. He has walked him and allowed a base hit. Now he's behind 3-1. Now he's been on base all 3 times. So Edwin Encarnacion as the cleanup hitter for the first time this year, getting on base for Toronto. Every Sunday, including tomorrow, is Family Fun Day presented by the St. Petersburg Times. You can get a ticket, Pepsi product, and a snack starting at just $18. Come out Sunday, September 20th. That would be tomorrow when the Rays battle the Toronto Blue Jays. First 10,000 kids 14 and under receive a Rays rattle drum presented by Matchup Promotions. Visit RaysBaseball.com to get your Akinori Iwamura battle drum tomorrow. Here's first pitch to Lyle Overbay. That misses 1-0. That walk issue to Encarnacion. Second time he has walked Edwin, and his 4th walk in this game for Garza. He and the opposing starter Ricky Romero both with 4 walks. Ball ripped in right field for a base hit. So the Jays have something going here with 1 out in the 6th. First and second and 1 away.
That's the first hit since Hill's 1-out single in the 3rd.
Garza working with a 4-0 lead will now deal with Jose Bautista. Bautista struck out his first time up and popped up. Called strike on the inner half, 0-1. Matt Garza now against Toronto has worked into his 4th start here at Tropicana Field in his career. He's gone 25 innings in those 4 starts and only allowed 1 run. He has just dominated Toronto during this season and in the past in this building. 1-1 to count on Bautista. Ball hit towards short. Could be 2. Bartlett, Iwamura, Ibar. That'll do it for the Jays here in the 6th. A 6-4-3 double play to get out of the inning. We head to the bottom half of the 6th inning with the Rays still leading Toronto 4-0. Bottom half of the 6th inning from Tropicana Field. Tampa Bay leading Toronto 4-0 after a 4-run first inning against Ricky Romero. Since then, the Rays don't have anything to show for it. Leontiana Navarro will lead things off. Navarro, Akinori Iwamura, and Jason Bartlett. 8, 9, and 1 in the Rays lineup. First pitch to Navarro, a called strike, and Romero's done a much better job since the first of getting ahead of hitters. Since that first inning, he's only allowed 2 hits. He has walked 3. The first inning, he allowed 4 hits, a walk, and a hit batsman. Oh, a nice catch in the hat. Down in the Jays bullpen right there.
This is worth another look. Let a professional do it.
I like that. That was smooth. 0-2 pitch. Another chance. He's not going after this one. Just foul. Nami hit that pretty well, but he hooked it. Toronto bullpen, like a lot of bullpens, pretty loose group. They go jogging together in the outfield before the game during batting practice. Whenever anybody makes a catch out there, they clap in unison, kind of getting themselves ready for a ball game. 0-2 pitch is hook foul again. Now he's pulling everything, and it's a bat against Ricky Romero. Romero getting the start tonight against the left-hander Romero. That has been primarily the platoon for Joe Madden, but not necessarily strictly lefty-righty. Seen Navarro catch Wade Davis the last 3 starts with a lot of success in 2 of those 3, so he'll probably get Wade again. Joe has not determined his rotation beyond tomorrow's game. He and Jim Hickey and others have been talking about it, but Joe said he will have some sort of conclusion by tonight's post-game press conference, so you'll make sure you stay tuned for that as well on our Rays Live post-game show. Joe should have how it's going to set up for Seattle with a day off before and after that series. Navarro down in the count, had to protect. Ground ball to third, and Encarnacion across, 1 out here in the 6th. Well, Ricky Romero doing a better job lately. His pitch count was pretty high after 1 inning, but he's settled in a bit. Now he'll deal with Akinori Iwamura. 1 shy of the century mark for Romero, pitching into September for the first time in his career. Probably be his last inning. He has gone as high as 118 pitches against the Washington Nationals, but this late in the year, you would think Cito Gaston may be looking at just above 100 as his limit. Iwamura, one of the 5 strikeout victims of Romero. He has struck out and popped up. Swing and a miss, 0-2. $11 runs last night for Tampa Bay. 4 runs in the first tonight. Swing and a miss. Aki having trouble tonight with Romero. Goes down swinging. A strikeout number 6 for the Jays left-hander. Visit the official online shop of the Rays at RaysBaseball.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Jason Bartlett, the batter. He walked to start this game and came around to score the Rays' first run.
Romero's done a nice job of trying to settle this game down after the first. The Rays scored 4. They have had a couple threats, but nothing that he couldn't take care of, and he is limited to just 2 hits since the first.
Young lefty, Rookie of the Year candidate, although that may have taken a hit his last 3 or 4 starts. Plus tonight, there's a strike on the inner half, 2-1.
The one thing that impressed the Rays when they saw him was his presence out there, and he's had pretty good command of himself tonight. Again, struggling with 4 walks, but he survived the first and has kept the Rays at bay.
Little flare into right field gives Jason Bartlett his first hit of the night. He's a 2-out base runner. And for the Rays, hit number 7 on the evening. Bartlett able to muscle that into right field on that inside pitch. Gaston just made a call down to the bullpen. Guarantee it's a righty.
Yeah, I think the former Ray is going to get up. Sean Kemp.
Carl Crawford, the batter, takes a pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. There is Sean Kemp. Having a nice year for Toronto. Former Tampa Bay Ray. To be more specific, former Tampa Bay Devil Ray. 1-0 the count to Crawford, and he takes a called strike, 1-1. Well, the one common denominator between last night's 11-run attack and the early start for the Rays offense tonight is that the lineup card was handed in by David Price. Problem is, tomorrow David Price is the starting pitcher. We know how superstitious teams can be. I don't know how that's going to play out. We'll see. I don't think I've ever seen a starting pitcher handed a lineup card.
And as a result, we're in the situation the Rays might find themselves in tomorrow.
Maybe they'll get somebody to wear a Price uniform disguised as the Vanderbilt left-hander. 2-1 pitch to Crawford, down low, 3-1. Here's David going over the ground rules with the umpires. Handshakes all around. So what happens if they score a lot of runs again tonight, David?
So there with Brian Butterfield representing the Blue Jays.
Chopped on the ground. Aaron Hill will have to make a quick throw, and he does. So the Rays retired on the ground out by Carl Crawford. We head to the 7th. It's still 4-0 Rays. Four nothing Rays as we head to the 7th inning. You can place your reservations for the 2010 Rays season tickets. Ensure the best seats, the biggest savings, and great benefits by calling 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com today. 7th inning baseball. Here's Dwayne.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. As Travis Snyder steps in, Matt Garza has limited the Blue Jays to no runs, 3 hits. And the first pitch hit on the ground is short. Jason Bartlett in routine fashion takes care of Snyder. Well, the pitch count's in pretty good shape for Garza. He made 24 pitches in the first inning and 20 in the third. But otherwise, he has been very economical with his pitches. in the low 90s right now in pitch count here. One out into the 7th inning. Raul Chavez. 92 pitches on the night for Garza so far. That pitch is upstairs. 1-0. Garza got Chavez on strikes in the 2nd inning. He threw him a very good slider. One of 7 strikeouts for Matt tonight. It's taken for a strike, and it's 1-1. Well, right back. Now a ball and 2 strikes. Garza's strikeout high this year, 10. He had 10 strikeouts when he walked only 1 against Boston back at the end of April. And he won that game. That was that 13-0 win for the Rays over Boston. That's a strike on the outside corner, says Sam Holbrook. So a strikeout away for number 8.
Garza ahead of the count. Nice slider outside corner. Chavez doesn't pull the trigger.
2 away with the bases empty, and here's the left fielder, the number 9 hitter, John McDonald. It's fouled to first and is grounded out to second base to Iwamura. Pitch is a strike. And Garza in his 30th start of the year. 0-2. 25-year-old right-hander. That's the other thing about the Rays starting rotation. The old guy pitched last night.
Yeah.
Shields, he's 27.
Gray beard.
0-2 the count here to McDonald. And he tried that slider again, and this time just missed with it. It's 1-2. Well, the great thing about that is that you add Neiman and now Wade Davis to that mix.
David Price.
Yep. Going tomorrow. Wave and a miss. Donald chased the slider this time. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Time for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Autoway Toyota. When you need a
Rewind.
AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. With Todd Callis and Whit Watson, Dwayne Stats from Tropicana Field tonight. A very good 7-inning effort for Garza tonight. The Rays lead 4-0. Evan Longoria leads off against Sean Camp, the new pitcher for the Blue Jays. And the pitch is a strike. 6 innings for Romero. The Rays got 4 runs, 7 hits. He struck out 6, walked 4, hit a man. And the pitch to Longoria misses. 1-1. Evan has been on base 3 times. He singled in a run in the first and scored. He walked in the second, singled in the 5th. That's in the 7th inning to lead it off for the Rays, and the pitch is a strike. 1-2 the count. Inside, 2-2. Sean Camp has put together some pretty good numbers this year for the Blue Jays. See a lot of sinkers and sliders from Camp. Bouncing ball shortstop. Scudero makes the play, and as a result, you'll see a lot of ground balls when he is on his game.
He's a good guy to come in right behind Romero, too. You've got a sinker slider pitcher, as you said, comes at you from the right-hand side as opposed to Romero. Lefty who's going to come at you from a completely different angle, so not a bad backup to Romero as a starter.
Ben Zobrist, who drove in a run in the 4-run first. Rays picked up all 4 of their runs and 4 of their 7 hits in the first. And Zobrist pops it back into left center field. McDonald coming in front of Bautista makes the catch. A couple quick outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's Pat Burrell. Pat 0 for 3 tonight. Fouls 1 away. Strike 1. Sinker down and away as he fouled it back. Cito Gaston has got some innings out of Sean Camp. He's been in 53 games, and in 17 of those have been at least 2 innings.
And he does really well when he gets extended a couple of innings or more.
Way wide, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
2.14 ERA when he goes at least 2 innings for the former Ray, Sean Camp.
A little low, 2-2. Rays winners last night, 11-4. They lead 4-0 tonight. And a wave and a miss. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Camp. We're through 7. 4-0 Tampa Bay. Rays lead 4-0 as we go to the 8th. Time for the stay in the game hole leaders for the Rays. Brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Grant Balfour has 16. Dan Wheeler has 15 as middle relievers keep their teams in the game. You too can stay in the game with Just for Men Hair Color. Matt Garza goes to work. He's made 100 pitches through 7 innings. Top of the order here in the 8th is Marco Scutaro. And the first pitch from Garza is too high. Scutaro struck out. He worked the count 3-2 to start the game and tried to check his swing, but struck out. Last 2 trips he's gone out to right field. Kapler has handled those fly balls. That's a strike. And in the 3rd, Kapler made a fine running catch in the direction of the right field corner. As he approached the warning track, he made the grab. A nice defensive play by Kapler in this game. The Rays had 3 of those, 3 or 4 last night. This one is down, and that's what we saw on a consistent basis a year ago and earlier this year when the Rays had their little winning spurts. It had to do with a combination of a lot of things that we saw in last night's game.
And defense and pitching going hand in hand. Last year seemed to happen all the time. This year that's been the one key ingredient missing, is that consistent D.
Pitch is upstairs. Now 3-1. Strike. So again, it's a full count to Scutaro. It's been a big part of his value to the Blue Jays this year. Three balls, 2 strikes. And he walks. The pitch is down. So a leadoff walk to Scutaro, and we'll check in with Whit Watson.
All right, guys, want to take a moment here to check in with our interactive poll. You can follow us at fsfloridatv.com and cast your ballot, or sunsportstv.com as well. Who do you think's been the Rays MVP this season? Jason Bartlett, Carl Crawford, Evan Longoria, Carlos Pena, Ben Zobrist are your choices. sunsportstv.com or fsfloridatv.com. Dwayne, a moment ago, they were chanting pizza. The fans can feel it here at Tropicana Field.
Well, 9 strikeouts for Garza. He just needs 1 more to provide that. Rays pitching last night chipped in and helped the crowd to a pizza. And 12 strikeouts in the game last night. 1-0 the count to Aaron Hill. This one is foul the other way, out of play. It's 1-1.
Matt Garza's numbers this year and last year were uncannily similar coming into tonight. Almost the exact same number of innings, exact same number of runs allowed. A few more strikeouts, 40 more strikeouts, a few more walks allowed. But Garza said he felt like last year was a better season. And the reason he said that, he said, I just haven't had that lockdown game yet this year. He said, I had one game where I didn't allow a run, but no shutouts, no complete games. He felt like that's been missing from his body of work in 2009 that he had in 08.
1-2 the count. And Hill is out on strikes. That's 10 tonight for Garza. First out here in the 8th as Garza notches his 10th strikeout of the night. Second time this year he has hit 10 strikeouts in a game.
Well, this could end up being his lockdown game he was looking for. Hill has to protect the plate with 2 strikes, chases a pitch a little bit outside, and Matt Garza has double digits in the K department.
Well, it's a second straight pizza night for the folks here with 10 strikeouts. Adam Lynn takes the pitch for a ball. 1-0. I can see the lines forming now.
Yep. James furniture. And you got a chance tomorrow with David Price on the mound. You could have an entire weekend full, the trifecta of pizza for one weekend. You could have Papa John's pizza for the next week based on this series.
2-0 the count to Adam Lynn. We saw a shot of the bullpen a moment ago where Randy Choate, the lefty, is throwing along with the right-hander Russ Springer. Two balls and a strike. One on, one out. 8th inning. Two balls, 2 strikes. Lynn missed the fastball.
One time he struck out Lind, he got him on the curveball. He could go curveball here, or he could go to that 2-seamer away.
And he misses too high. And with a fastball, and the count is full. So he's up to 115 pitches. And he has thrown as many as 120 this year. He's done that on 3 separate occasions. Twice against the Red Sox and once against the Yankees. 3-2. Now Lynn steps out. He made 118 pitches his last outing. That was on that road trip against the Red Sox at Fenway. 3-2 pitch. And a little tap. That's a foul ball, forcing another one.
Trying to think along with Joe Madden. I think this is probably Garza's last batter with his pitch count. The fact that Encarnacion's been on base 3 times against him. I think Joe might have Springer up there for 1 batter, and then the lefty Choate in there for Overbay if it gets to that point.
3-2. Second time the pitch, and it's ball 4 down and in. So 2 walks in the inning, 6 on the night. And Joe Madden is up with an eye toward the bullpen. Encarnacion is due. That's going to be it for Matt Garza, who pitches 1 out and 2 base runners into the 8th. Parker's double of the game. Double figures in the strikeout department for Garza. The second time this year he strikes out as many as 10. 7 1/3. 3 hits. 10 strikeouts and 6 walks. And here is Edwin Encarnacion. 2 men on. Russ Springer comes on. And he throws a fastball by him, strike 1. Springer was in the game last night for a third of an inning. Picked up a strikeout and hit a man. Check of the runners. Outside snap throw to first. A one-hopper down to first as Ibar digs it out and Lind is back in safely. I don't think Navi ever got a real handle on that baseball when he made the throw.
No, he didn't. In that transfer, you could see the ball kind of on top of his fingertips there. Nice play by Ibar just to keep it in front of him and make the clean catch.
On 1, 2 outside, 2-1. So 117 pitches for Garza tonight. So that's a stretch of 4 games in which he's made 120, 118, and now 117. 2-1 and a foul ball back as Encarnacion took a rip at a fastball.
They've been staying away from him in this at bat. Last night when Springer faced him, he was ahead of the count 1-2 and tried to come in and ended up hitting him with a pitch. He's been challenging him with a lot of heat in this at bat. Probably just in there for the one batter here, Springer is, so he can go all out in this one at bat.
It's a 2-2 count. Struck him out. He threw a slider, loaded him up with fastballs, and then got him with a slider. Strikeout number 11 for Rays pitching.
Navarro didn't even put down a sign. He knew Springer had shook him off previously to that. And Encarnacion stepped out, so he knew the slider was coming. Didn't even put a sign down, and Russ gets the job done tonight for the one batter he faces.
So Joe Madden out. He wants the lefty, and we'll be back in a moment. may do, but Vernon Wells will now pinch hit. So Choate, who's on for the 54th time, will wind up facing the right-handed bat of Vernon Wells. Choate worked 2/3 of an inning last night when he got Phillips and Snyder to end the 8th. See Wells 3 out of 7 against Choate with a home run. And the first pitch, that's a strike. As we discussed last night, Wells has been red hot. He had a couple of hits last night, an 11-game hitting streak for Wells. Last night, 2 for 4. Hitting .265 for the year. And there's a chopper toward the middle. Aki's got it. He'll step on the bag, and that retires the side. No runs, 2 walks, 2 left. Bottom of the 8th, coming 4-0 Rays. GMC. Roy Halladay tomorrow for Toronto. David Price for the Rays. We'll be with you in high definition on Fox Sports Florida. Our coverage begins at 1 o'clock for the wrap-up game of this series. Brandon League is the new pitcher. Randy Ruiz takes over at first. Louis Ibar to face League, and the pitch is a strike. So Sean Kemp worked 1 perfect inning and picked up a strikeout. 61st appearance for League. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'm not sure why this guy's ERA is around 5. Whenever we see him, he's talking about stuff.
He has a great arm. There's no question about that. Down toward the bullpen. Look out down there. But he's okay.
Craig Zahn down there. JP Howe's giving him a hard time. It's like, you got the big catcher's mitt. You got to protect us. Actually, that was Bat Boy down there too. Is probably getting a little heat as well.
Yeah, 2-2. You got to be heads up. Ball hit you right in the kisser down there.
Sonny with that little metal ball there that keeps the mitt loose.
Full count now. Ibar has been on 3 times. He drove it around with a base hit back in the first. ball back on a fastball in at 97. That's just what you were talking about, Todd, with Brandon Lee. What an arm.
I mean, he's got some nasty stuff, and he throws a little split or two and change it up, curveball. And individually, his pitches look like they're good enough to have a much better ERA than where it is now.
Swing and a miss. He throws it by Ibar. Got the fastball past him. It's the 8th strikeout for Toronto pitching tonight.
Never easy to get a fastball past Ibar, but league at 96 miles an hour, able to just get it over the bat of Willie.
Well, Rays live post-game immediately following the coverage of our game here tonight, so we invite you to stay with us for that. Whit Watson will be along. Now Gabe Gross will pinch hit for Gabe Kapler. Gabe takes it inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
We said the big moments in the games don't always happen in the 8th or 9th innings. Last night we saw a big moment for the Rays in the 7th, and tonight I think that Randy Choate versus Vernon Wells at bat may have been the big play of the game.
Just fouled out of play. Yeah, the Blue Jays left 2 men on base there.
And Choate's been used almost exclusively against lefties, and he got to face a righty there, a righty who's been hot, and he was able to get him to ground out to finish off that inning.
One and one to count to Gabe Gross. This one is down. And then speaking of getting hot, Wheeler is back up in the bullpen. He had been up in the 8th. And then when Choate got out of that, he sat down again, but they have him back up. So they'd already warmed him up. So he's back up throwing again. Two balls and a strike to count on Gabe Gross. Pinch hitting for Kapler. Fouls this one back, 2-2.
On this college football Saturday, the former Auburn quarterback Gabe Gross was throwing some pretty nice spirals out there on the field before the game.
I'll tell you, he was. We watched him from about the right field foul line. Hit a very closely covered receiver in center field.
Yeah, that was Reed Brignac and Sean Riggins were running some patterns for Gabe. He looked like he had that old form back when he was a War Eagle.
This one is down.
He won't be pleased to find out his school's losing to West Virginia, though, 21-10 right now at the end of one. A lot of interest today in that Gator and Tennessee game down in the clubhouse, as you would imagine.
Three balls, 2 strikes. And Gross is out on strikes. A fastball. He got a little piece of it and foul tipped it into the mitt of the catcher Chavez.
Brandon, league, 2 batters, 2 strikeouts, a little tailing action on that fastball.
How about that at 96 with that kind of tailing action on it? Hard to catch up to that. Navarro. Pitch is down. 1-0. The Honor struck out his first time. Twice has hit the ball on the ground to third. Batting left-handed now against League. 2 balls, no strikes. That's going to be out of play. 2-1.
Messing around with some numbers there with Matt Garza versus the Jays with his 7 1/3 shutout innings tonight. With the Rays now 0.81. It's unbelievable. I mean, he just locks and loads against this team, start after start.
Nobby takes one down and in. That's ball 3. Now 3-1. Lead the third pitcher tonight for the Blue Jays. Romero, Camp, and Lee, all 4 runs off the starter Romero. The fly ball lifted into center field. That's Bautista out there to make the catch, and that retires the side. 1, 2, 3. We go to the 9th. 4-0 Rays. Baseball on Fox Sports Florida, brought to you by your select 7 Buick Pontiac GMC dealers, and by Tobacco Free Florida. Tobacco Free Florida wants you to be tobacco free. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com for more information. We go to the 9th. The Rays hold a 4-0 lead. Gabe Gross will stay on to play right field. Chris Richard in at first base. And Dan Wheeler is the new pitcher for the Rays. Their 4th of the night, making his 63rd appearance.
4-4, 15 holds so far. This is not a save situation. 3.42 ERA. The Rays mixing it up a little bit down the stretch. They don't want to use J.P. Howe as much. And Wheeler gets a shot here in the ninth.
He'll face Jose Bautista to lead off the ninth. Bautista 0 for 3 tonight. And the first pitch is down. He starts him with a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. There's Gabe Gross in right field. Stays on after pinch hitting. Ground ball, shortstop. Picked up by Bartlett. The throw to first low. Richard cannot dig it out. And so Bautista reaches on the error.
Take another look. Jason Bartlett has to go to his right a little bit, but he's in good shape right here. Has time and just throws a little sinker there. And Chris Richard just into the game, couldn't make the pick. You see Jason Bartlett had plenty of time, but that ball short hops right on the cutoff of the dirt and the grass. And that took a big hop on Richard.
So that's the first error of the game. Bautista reaches to start the ninth. And now Travis Snyder steps in there. He hits one foul back. Fouled the fastball, strike one. Snyder walked in the second. He struck out in the fourth and grounded out in the seventh inning. All of that against Matt Garza. Wave and a miss. Doing the split that appeared right there. 0-2. Seven and a third for Garza tonight. Springer a third, Choate a third, and now Wheeler. The 0-2, and he strikes him out. He doubled up on the split. And so Snyder is strikeout number 12 for Rays pitching.
Oh, Dan Wheeler got ahead, and he's got a rookie there who hasn't seen him, and he figured why not go right back to it ahead 0-2, and he was able to get Travis Snyder on the strikeout. Just the second time he had faced Wheeler in his career.
Raul Chavez, the catcher. And the pitch, there's a strike. Takes the fastball away. Chavez 0-for-3 against Garza, including a couple of strikeouts. Garza threw him two very good sliders tonight to strike him out. Garza finished the night with 10 strikeouts. Down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chavez laying off the slider there. 1 on, 1 out in the ninth. There's a strike at the knees, a fastball. So we go to 1-2. Wheeler was on last night and worked the 7th inning. He faced Batista, Hill, Lind, and Wells. Following James Shields into the game. Down in the ninth tonight, the Rays leading 4-0. 1-2, and a fly ball into right, not very deep. Gross is there, and he makes the catch. 2 gone with Batista still at first.
Well, Dan's been so good this year against right-hand hitters. He's able to get Chavez there and get to deal with another right-hand hitter here to try and close things out.
Well, here's McDonald. McDonald starting in left field tonight, right-handed hitter. And he lifts a popper on the right side. Hockey's after this one, under it, and makes the catch to retire the side. Game is over, and the Rays win it. A combination shutout. 4-0 the final. With 2 hours and 43 minutes to play this game as the Rays win it 4-0. Garza, Springer, Choate, and Wheeler combine on the shutout. We'll be back with the totals in a moment.